What is going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the Georgia Meth Show, you guys. I'm back, and we got a lot to talk about. Listen, everybody, hold your horse, cut the brakes. I understand. I said I was going to be filming and making shows while I was gone on NDR on vacation, but I got carried away. I don't want to say carried away. I just was like, I just decided not to. Honestly, it was a pretty hectic time going and coming back. While I was there, it was a good, but going and coming back was a bit hectic. JetBlue, I just want to say shout out to you and count your days, because what I had to go through was nothing but hell in a cell. So to explain a little bit, so just to give a quick backstory, so where my grandmother lives, my grandparents from my mother's side, in the specific city or yeah, that they live in the country in Dominican Republic, it's called Santiago. And for me to get to Santiago, I have to take two flights from Atlanta. There is no way in God's green earth I can get there in one flight. I have to take two flights. So either I have the option to go from Atlanta to Florida, Florida to Santiago, Dominican Republic, or Atlanta to New Jersey, Newark to be specific, or JFK, and then go to Dominican Republic. So my flight was July 31st. I was supposed to be leaving here in Atlanta at, I believe it was 9:10 in the morning, and I was supposed to get to Florida. I think it was at 11:55, 11 o'clock ish, something like that. Then at 12:55, I was supposed to leave from Florida and get to Santiago, Dominican Republic at 3:10 p.m. So essentially, it was a flight from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. Let's keep it like that. What happened? So I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. I get dressed, I shower, get dressed. The night before that, I made sure my luggage was packed, etc. All that. So I get to the airport, I wanna say around like 6:30, 40-ish. I think I stopped at the bank before I went because I had to get some cash out. So I got to the airport around, let's say, 6:50. It was easy to get out or easy to do the check-in. I had the fast pass, whatever, because I had like the even more, which is like the nice pass from JetBlue, etc. So TSA was a quick, easy one. Check-in was a quick, easy one. Boom. So I get to the gate by like 7:30. I remember I texted my cousin who dropped me off. I was like, I got through this shit quick. I'm already here. So I had like an hour ish wait. I got there like at 7:20-ish, 30-ish, and the plane didn't onboard till like 8:33, I think it was. So boom. It's time to onboard. Everybody's onboarding. Boom. I had like one seat, so I was like the first seat as soon as you get into the plane to your right. I get on, boom, put my stuff on top. But I'm good. I'm chilling and grilling, ready to rumble. Everybody's on board. Everybody's ready to go. On one, I don't know what their title's name, but a gentleman comes on. He's checking, I think, the engine, essentially the motors, making sure that the plane is good to go. 30 minutes go. It's 9-ish o'clock. Everybody's ready. Boom, boom, boom. So it's like 9 o'clock. Everybody's just chilling on their phones, talking, blah, 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 blah. It hits 9:30. We're still waiting. It hits 9:40. We're still waiting. It hits 9:50. We're still waiting. It finally hits 10 o'clock. A gentleman comes on and says, I have some bad news. This plane cannot go anywhere. There's something going on. We have to wait. It's going to take an hour to 2 hour process. You got to get all these people off. So what happened? Essentially, everybody got off the plane. By the time everybody got off the plane, it was around almost 11 o'clock. So everybody is like, oh my God, what the heck? This, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, we're waiting. The ladies at the front, they're like, if you have a connected flight, make a line. If you are going directly to Florida and staying in Florida, just sit down. You'll just have to wait an hour, 2 hours before this plane goes to Florida because it was still going to Florida. So what happened? If you were on a connected flight, you missed your second flight essentially because there was no flight leaving right now, and your ass was staying in Atlanta. You weren't going nowhere. So what happened? People got their flights changed. The app, it was doing it automatically, so you didn't even realize it until they said it. You were like, "What the fudge?" And then they gave you $12 of credit. JetBlue, before I continue my story, what the hell is someone supposed to do in 2026 with a $12 credit? Like, someone explain to me, what are they supposed to do with $12? If if you go into an airport and the water bottles are $5 to $6, you can't even get a bag of chips with water and a sandwich for 12 bucks in an airport. So what were they expecting people to do? That's what like I'm trying to figure out. So continuing on. So essentially what happened? Either people got their dates changed, so either they were going to leave the 1st or the 2nd of August. So they were going to have to go back home in Atlanta and just do what they got to do. Or they either had to wait till the next flight that leaves from Fort Lauderdale, which was the one I was on specific, to Santiago. So what happened? At first, a lot of people were like, you know what, fudge it, let's just do that. At first, it was apparently too overweight or some shit like that, that weight imbalance. So essentially, I'm gonna just put it like this to not keep rambling off. I left Atlanta like at 1 o'clock, got to Fort Lauderdale like at 3:30 ish. I waited from, let's say, 3:30 all the way till 10:30 ish o'clock at night in Fort Lauderdale airport. I literally was just going bizarre, literally from 3:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m., which is what, 7 hours. I was in that airport for 7 long hours, just dying, because I understood that by the time I got to Florida, that I was supposed to be in Santiago. And instead of being in Santiago, I'm in Florida still waiting for a goddamn flight. So instead of me arriving at 3 p.m. on July 31st, like I was specifically, I didn't get to Santiago, Dominican Republic till August 1st at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, what the hell? So I had rented a vehicle. The person that I rented from came pick me up. So what happened? I had to be back at the airport in like 2 hours because I had cousins coming from New Jersey that I had to go pick up. So think about it. I was like, damn, I had to go check in the Airbnb that we had rented between the three of us. And I was like, damn, bro. So I was supposed to be chilling and all that. And instead, I was dealing in a stupid airport doing this. So what happens? So coming back was exciting because I was supposed to be in Atlanta at 11:30 p.m. I didn't arrive till 1:30 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning. What the hell is going on? So then my flight from Santiago to Florida wasn't that bad. It did get delayed like 10 minutes, but it wasn't the worst. My Florida to Atlanta was the one that kicked ass. We were supposed to onboard like at 8:30. We didn't onboard till like 10ish. Good thing was the flight was empty. There was only like 10, 15 people on there. So it was like, thank God. But then when you get to Atlanta is the problem. So JetBlue, I think the gates are A, B, C, D, E. We had got off gate E, which is in the gutters, essentially. And what happened? So the Atlanta airport is so big, for the people that don't know, that they have trains. But I don't know why we don't have 24-hour trains in this big ass airport that's probably washing gold, like the saying. So we had to walk, I think it was 20 minutes from E all the way to the baggage claim, because obviously it was domestic. You don't have to worry about immigration or none of that. We had to do that long ass walk. So then what happens? Apart from that, you have to do that long ass walk. So the thing was, there was a train functioning from E to F. something like that. It was just going back and forth, but at first we didn't know. I get on this train and we're just going back and forth. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, bro? What the hell? We get off on E, we make this long ass walk. I get to my baggage claim. I'm already tight. And I'm waiting, and it's just a bunch of circles, a bunch of circles, a bunch of circles, and I'm not even with my baggage. On one, I hear, JetBlue, JetBlue. We go. My freaking bag is in check-in, all the way on the other side of the damn airport of the terminal that I was at. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So then I gotta pull out ID, show ID that it's my luggage. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, bro. We had to make this long ass walk. Then you're waiting on this bag, 20 minutes waiting for this bag and nothing. I'm like, Jesus Christ. On top of all of that, I was starving. I didn't eat since that morning, like at 11:30 a.m. I didn't eat the whole day. All I had was water because I get to Florida and everything's fucking closed at 8:30 p.m. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's only 8:30 at night and everything's closing. So that's another thing you got to deal with when you're going from like, Santiago to Florida, Florida to Atlanta. When you land in Florida, you have to get your bag and then do the whole check-in process again because it's domestic. You're going from international to domestic. So you got to deal with that nonsense. Then you got to go through TSA and do all this bullshit. It was just hectic, you guys. I said that I'm never doing this again. Uh, the capital, Santo Domingo, you can go from here to Santo Domingo directly. It's just a 2.5 hour drive to Santiago. So I just said, I'm never doing this. Every year I've gone, it's always a stretch, always a big situation. So I was like, fudge that. We're moving on. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to go straight to the capital and just make the drive and just call it a night because I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, hell no. Um, but it was a good vacation, well needed. Needed to relax my brain a little bit. Just accumulated too much stress with work and everything. But we're back and we're running. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot, a lot. Tarek Schoolball went to the freaking Dodgers. What the hell was that? Klay Thompson signs with Miami. Deshaun Watson and the fans, situation drama. We had Freddie Peralta. Mets traded him to the Rays, which was pretty nice. We're gonna break down all of this, you guys. We're gonna have a discussion. There's a lot of things that we gotta break down. So before we start, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the topic that we discussed. My story that you had. Tell me the stories you guys have had, maybe with JetBlue. But let's get into it. All right. So as you guys know, every single time, if you're new here, before I start a show or I start talking about discussions, I always give you guys a positive quote for the day, something word of wisdom, basically turn that frown upside down if you feel down. So here's the quote for today. Success is not about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that every sacrifice, every late night, every setback, and every tear was worth it. Keep going until your life becomes the answer. I love this quote because I think that sometimes us as humans, we get so caught up on worried about what so and so's opinion is about us or what so and so got to say about us or what do they care the way we do our style of business or how we do the play of business, the promotions, how we promote our business or how do we price things. I think we get so caught up in all that stuff that, we forget the main goal. And I love how it says proving to yourself that every sacrifice, every late night was worth it. Because not everybody's gonna see the times where you're up at 2, 3 in the morning delivering packages to your front to people or shipping packages out or packaging them up or if you have a clothes business, or not nobody's gonna see you meet up with somebody if you have a shoe business and you do it, let's say off a marketplace. Nobody's gonna see that. Nobody's going to see when, you get a setback because maybe you ordered the wrong products. Maybe you ordered the wrong chemicals for your lotion that you were making or your makeup that you were making for the women. Nobody's going to see, like it says, every tear. Nobody's gonna you're not gonna a lot of people are not gonna show the negative. A lot of people aren't gonna go on social media sometimes and show you crying because your business is in a negative equity, or you have your account is in a negative balance because maybe of a poor decision that you made. That's why it's about keep going. Keep going until life becomes the answer, until you see the success in your business or anything in life. Don't worry about what anybody's talking about, what anybody is saying about you. Keep pushing. All right. Love that quote. I really do. That one I'm a big fan of. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So let's discuss here. The Los Angeles Dodgers on the trade deadline, which I think was August 3rd, made a trade to the Detroit Tigers, sending Brady Smith, a right-handed pitcher, River Ryan, a right-handed pitcher, ranked seventh in the Dodgers prospect farm system. Uh, and Zahari Hope. If I'm mispronouncing his name, that is my apology. He is an outfielder ranked number 5 at the time of the trade in the Dodgers farm system. So they got two prospects in the top 10 in the top 10 of the Dodgers farm system, and they got a right-handed pitcher. So there was obviously other teams, making, big trades. The Rays and the Brewers apparently were making a strong push, but a lot of them look like they didn't have a good enough package like the Dodgers did. So Dodgers obviously receive Tarek Schoolball. This is crazy. Like when you see it, this is why this up and coming December situation with this lockout is gonna happen, because you see stuff like this and you're like, damn, bro, this is getting out of hand. Like, this team is a not even a super team, it's a super, 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 super quadruple team. Think about this rotation. You got healthy Yoshi Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Otani. Now you got Tarek Schoolball. You get Blake Snell. There is not a rotation in history that is better than those five fully healthy. No way in hell. So think about it. Right now, essentially, obviously, it is a rental. Now, what's the difference between the Rays getting Tarek Schoolball or the Dodgers getting him? The Dodgers will be willing to sign him, and they have the money to sign him. The Rays would essentially be a bit hesitant. So it's a 3-month rental, but this guy is 29 years old. He has been pitching phenomenal since he's came back. And you add him in, this guy is definitely going to help you win another World Series, go back to back to back. He's going to help you out. And obviously, what's killing the Dodgers lately has been the injuries. Um, as you guys know, I think it's Tarek Schoolball, or not Tarek Schoolball, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow. They've been out. I think Edwin Diaz is out now. They have the injuries. Let's keep it real, are killing them. It's something that is kicking their ass a little bit, but they're still in first place. They're 80-51 right now. They're still doing well. Their division is a bit lopsided. The Padres are doing okay. Diamondbacks, all right. But injuries has been killing them a little bit. I think from what I see now, Tyler Glasnow is back. Um, it looks like he'll be pitching against the Braves on the 25th. And then Roku Sasaki, they also have him. Yoshi Yamamoto. Like, this team is stacked, you guys. I know they got Kyle Tucker, who they signed, who's been having a bit of down season, but this pitching rotation, you guys, is just fully healthy is nasty. And if you really think about it, all they need is 3 or 4 pitchers, which would be what? Blake Snell or Yoshi Yamamoto, Tarek Skubal, and let's say Blake Snell or Tyler Glasnow. Like, this team is really set if they can have the pitching or the offense on point. They're set. Um Now, obviously, Detroit, you got 2 prospects back. You got to see hopefully how this turns out. Um Detroit just it was like a coin toss if they were going to get rid of them, if we really got to be honest. You really didn't know. Detroit this season just wasn't that good. They're currently in fourth place, 61 and 69. White Sox are surprisingly having a good season. Cleveland and the Twins are doing well. So it's one of those things of it's a weak league in the American League side, but they just the pieces weren't connecting with them. Um, Now obviously what kills Tarek Schoolboy is that you got this lockout coming December 1st, and you're gonna have to wait until they make a decision. And apart from that, you don't know what the heck is gonna happen. You don't know how these contracts, these salaries are gonna be. That's what sucks with him. And then you also got to see what team is going to be interested. You obviously he's going to hit the free agency market. I think he's represented by Scott Boras, so you know he's going to get the market. Apparently, he's wanting 300 million. So probably the top teams, depending how this lockout turns out, probably Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, probably in this, maybe the Phillies. With Zach Wheeler getting a bit older and Aaron Nola, shading out, maybe they would be interested. Um, but a lot of the big teams with money, they're going to be interested in this guy. He's only 29. It's going to be well. Also, his recent starts, he's been doing pretty good. I know the first game that he started against the Cubs wasn't too good. I know he gave up a couple runs, but as of August 1st, since they traded him, he's posted up a 3.38 ERA while racking up 30 strikeouts and over 24 innings. So he's been doing pretty good. His most recent start against, I think it was the Pirates, he had 7 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, and 1 walk. So it was pretty good. Not the best, but it was still good. Um, and think about it. This is a two-time Cy Young winner, you guys. So it was one of those that he was destined to, get traded and you get a good package back for him. But listen, he's having himself a good year. That's what sucks for him. His money is going to be something that he's still going to get paid. I don't want people to excuse that. This dude is still going to get his money, but it just depends, what team. But good for the Dodgers. Um, it sucks, but hey, whatever. Other pitchers that got traded, Luis Castillo, the White Sox acquired his services, sending to Seattle the reliever, Mr. Dominguez, outfielder Nolan Jones, and catching prospect Boston Smith. Um, the White Sox essentially they needed a veteran rotation arm, so they decided to go out and get him. Mariners, obviously, they wanted to move him. He wasn't doing that well. Luis Castillo really hasn't been doing that well lately. Right now, I think in his first half, he posted up a 5.06 ERA and 17 starts. So obviously, his numbers weren't looking that good. And he just hasn't been the same, really, if you look at it. Right now, he has a negative WAR of 0.9 with a 4-10 win loss record with 105 strikeouts and a whip of 1.4. When you look, his numbers really have been consistently, or this season has been down, but his numbers in the past seasons have been very consistent of a 3.54 ERA, a 3.64 ERA the year prior, a 3.34 the year prior to that. I think it looks like his best season was 2022. Um, but then after that, the years after that, 2023, he had himself a good year. I think he finished fifth in the Cy Young. Then after that, really, when you look, his FIP this year, I think, has been down. His numbers been very consistent. Like when you look, his stats are very, 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 very similar. But I think this year has just been down for him. And surprisingly, because that's a pitcher's friendly park, Seattle. So that was a pretty interesting one. Cubs has secured Kevin Gosman. They acquired Kevin Gosman's services, setting Toronto a middle infield prospect in Ty Salzan and outfield a prospect Brett Bateman. Um, I know the Cubs essentially they needed some pitching, and obviously adding Kevin Gosman to with his services. He's another one that's okay. He's not doing that good. Toronto this year has been struggling with injuries and just not performing. They're currently in fourth place. Kevin Gosman himself, He currently has a 4.58 ERA with a win-loss record of 6.11 and a WAR of 0.9 with 143 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.2, and 143 innings pitched. His FIP, I'm trying to see his FIP. His numbers are pretty consistent, very similar to Luis Castillo. He's okay. They did it obviously because the Cubs are trying to make a push. They're trying to make a push and they want to, go long. So they needed another rotation arm. And then the Rays acquired Freddie Peralta services from the New York Mets. So they sent to the Mets outfield prospect Aiden Smith, which interesting. Infield prospect Emeline Peretti. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. And right-handed pitching prospect Gary Gill Hill. So um, Rays, they're currently doing good. I think right now they're sitting in first place. Yeah, 77 and 53. They're having themselves a good season. I think they needed another pitching arm in the rotation to add. So they went out, got Freddie Peralta, who obviously, as we know, isn't doing that well. This dude right now has a 5.33 ERA. Don't know what the hell has happened to him. He's completely gone out of this earth right now. He has a whip of 1.4, almost a 5. So his FIP right now is currently a 4.4. They're 6.5. So don't know what happened. This guy last year finished fifth in the Cy Young votings, had a 2.70 ERA with a WAR of 5.5. Now he's gone out of this world. I don't know what the hell is going on with him. Um, but I think their pitching system looks like they want to fix him up a little bit and get him right. The Mets obviously they were dog shit. We're gonna have a break to talk about that a little bit more. But there we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this pans out for everybody. Um, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. All right, so let's talk about the New York Yankees, you guys. I want to break down. There is a big news, a big not. It's a devastating blow, but it may not be that bad with the services that they acquired and maybe Aaron Judge coming back. Um, so let's start off with how they're doing. So they're currently 73 and 56. They're in second place behind the Tampa Bay Rays, or they're actually, I think it is 74 and 56. So they're 74 and 56 um, behind Tampa. Right now, injuries are killing them a little bit. I think they're set to have Cody Bellinger, or he has returned, so he'll be back. So let's talk about players that they acquired first. All right, let's start off with first baseman Luis Garcia Jr., you guys. So they acquired Luis from the Washington Nationals in exchange for four right-handed pitchers, Jake Bird, Jack Sasbert, Giovanni Cruz, and Gabriel. His performance, it looks like Luis Garcia has been doing. He was doing good with the Washington Nationals. He's had himself a good year. He currently has a 2.77 batting average with 26 home runs, 82 RBIs, and an on base percentage of 312 and an OPS of 853 with an OPS plus of 130. So he's been doing good. He plays second, first, and short, so they can plateau him around a little bit. He's had himself a good year. He's really been solid, surprisingly. The years prior to that, he's been one of those players that um let me see. He had 16 home runs, 66 RBIs with a 252 batting average and an OPS of 701. So I think this year, I think he's really got the hang of things because last year, for example, he had an OPS plus of 94. The year prior to that, 1114, and then the year prior to that, a 90. So it looks like his career is up and down a little bit. It's not something that is very consistent. I think he's been doing well with the Yankees. Um, I think at the beginning he struggled, but he's getting on point. They went and also acquired from the San Francisco Giants Heliot Ramos. They traded him for him, and then they for exchange of left-handed pitching prospect Henry Laney and infield prospect Caden Kent. So they gave up a couple prospects off their farm system. He was one that was probably just for some depth, especially now here in the situation. He's a left fielder. He has a 240 batting average at 9 home runs, 35 RBIs, and an OPS of 91. OPS plus of 91. My correction. Um, he's one of those that they just got probably as like a backup for some depth, and then just a salary dump. They traded to the Pirates Camilo Duvall, who was obviously not doing well with the Yankees. Um, so talking about that, so here's the situation. Not about Camilo Duvall. Giancarlo Stanton. It is reported now that this gentleman had strained his left calf while running the bases during his rehab assignment for his right calf. Sounds like, from what manager Aaron Boone reported, he will be out for the 2026 season. This is a huge blow. I'm a big Giancarlo Stanton fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm a big Giancarlo Stanton fan. This dude, I've always been a fan. Love how his class, dude's just he's always been one of those people that you would want on your team because he's very respectful, not on no nonsense. Um, and he's very to the point kind of guy. But let's discuss. So I think this is my I don't want to say prediction, but I think we have seen Giancarlo Stanton's last years with the Yankees. His contract right now currently, so next year he's owed 15 million. Next year is his last year. Let's just keep it like that. Next year is his last year where he's owed, I believe it's $15 million. Plus the tax is 22 million. And then the year after that, age 38, the Yankees have a club option, which they're probably not going to bring back. Um, but let's keep it real, you guys. I think this is probably the last time you probably will see Giancarlo Stanton in a Yankees uniform, just because this man is. I'm sorry, when he's on the field, he is out of this world, but he cannot stay healthy for a day in his life. It's sad, but he can't. Like literally running the bases, he's hurt. He hurt his left side. Like his legs just don't care about him. They don't want him to succeed. Straight up. And it sucks because this dude is a former MVP, 5-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP, ASP MVP, Home Run Derby champion. The dude, when he's on the field, he can mash and hit the ball as hard and as far as he wants. But he can't stay healthy. And it's like the saying says, the best ability is availability. And he's never available. Straight up. Never, ever, ever available. And it sucks. For the Yankees essentially, because it just hurts them. And it's like we also got to think about, okay, Aaron Judge announced, I think while I was gone, that he is going to be playing that he's going to be playing this season, but you also got to understand that he's got to get back into condition. He's got to get back into the flow of things. And it's like when he's going to be returning, it's going to be almost probably time for the playoffs. And if you guys don't know, the playoffs obviously is where every single team is going to bring out their best pitchers. And all those mother suckers are going to be throwing their best stuff because it's playoffs. So it's going to be one of those things that when he comes back, it's going to be like, oh, shit, that was fast to say it like that because they're in the playoffs. These motherfuckers are going to be serious. They want to win. So, he's got to get back in rhythm. He's got to get back in a flow of things. It's just not going to be a quick, easy thing. It's not. He hasn't played in a long time. And the injury he's coming back from, you got to hope that he's fully good, he's fully healed, and it's not something that aggravates while he's playing. The Yankees itself, they listen, they got a good rotation. I did see that Ryan Weathers is now on the IL. but they got Max Fried, they got Garrett Cole, who's been okay. Um, I don't think they have Carlos Rodon right now, but they got Garrett Cole, Max Fried. They have Cam Schlittler, who's been pitching phenomenal for them. You have um a bit of a interesting bullpen. Um, I don't know if let's say with those three guys, maybe they could get far. It just depends on, let's say, Garrett Cole, for example. Cam Schlittler, we obviously know he can perform. Max Fried as well. But it's one of those things you got to see how what happens because everybody's going to play the best. So sucks, but I really do think we've seen our last couple times of a Giancarlo with the Yankees. I don't see it, especially maybe with like what happens next year, in this lockout and the rules and all that, and probably freeing up salary. I just don't see the poor guy. And listen, I'm a big Giancarlo Stanton fan. I'm not hating. I'm not saying it in no disrespectful way. Hell no. I just don't see it. It's going to be very challenging for me to see him being again with the Yankees. All right, let's move on to the other side of the beautiful, beautiful best city in the United States of New York, our state. Um, the New York Mets, you guys. So my favorite team. Obviously this team has just been a flat out disappointment. We're in last place right now. We're 59 and 72. We're in last freaking place. We're not going anywhere at all. Straight up. We're in last place. We're flat out an embarrassment and there's nothing really you can do about it. Um we just we never found the ball. We can never find the ball. We can never get on a rhythm. Our offense was just shit. Our pitching staff was just not good. We still got a Kodai Senga who cannot pitch for his life. Um, it's just one of those things that we look horrible. We look like a sack of shit, straight up. Um, so obviously we sent Freddie Peralta. We traded him to the Tampa Bay Rays. We got three top 30 prospects from Tampa, but it's a shame. It's a shame. We also gave away or we traded David Peterson, Clay Holmes, and Tremont Taylor to the Cubs and acquired a couple prospects, third base and shortstop, Jefferson Rojas. Um, First and third base, Cole Matthews. Just to name a few, Luke Weaver we sent to the Pirates, Brooks Raley to the Phillies, Hansen Brazon to the White Sox, AJ Minter to the Twins, and Ben Rovete to the Orioles. Um, Obviously, it's a disappointing season. It's very disappointing, and like I said before, I put this on David Stearns. I really do. I was watching 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I think it was Saturday or Friday. The Orioles versus the Rays, and I saw the home run that Pete Alonso hit off of Freddie Peralta, and he looks like he's getting the rhythm of things, like he's back on the flow. His numbers, I saw his numbers. I think he has like a 277 average with like 30 home runs. I think it's 82 RBIs and like an OPS of like 800 and something. What a stupid, 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 stupid decision. We let Pete Alonso walk for Jorge freaking Polanco. Jorge freaking Polanco, a guy that has not been able to stay on the fucking field for once this year. For once. We let him go for that sack of shit. And then who we had temporary for the bullshit was Mark Vientos, who seemed to not be able to ground or catch a fly ball for his life. So think about it. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Because of stupid money and stupid years, we let Pete Alonso walk to the Orioles. this is a guy that it's not like he didn't want to come back to New York, like let's say, um, Jacob DeGrom. Like he was willing to come back. We let him walk because of some bullshit ass fucking bullshit of contracts and years and all this stupid shit. So we decided to give 2 years, I don't know how much, to Jorge Polanco, who is set for ankle surgery and will miss the rest of the goddamn season. He had a negative 1.4 WAR with 2 home runs, a batting average of 148, 6 RBIs, and OPS plus of 21. What a embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Like, that's why I'm saying this I put on David Stearns because over some bullshit, we let Pete Alonso walk. Now Pete has a 270 batting average, so my correction, with 30 home runs, 85 RBIs, OPS of 860, and an OPS plus of 142, and a WAR of 3.7. You see the disappointment as a fan looking at this, the disappointment, the anger as a fan that we get because we decided to let Alonso walk because of some stupid years that right now people aren't going to give a rat's ass about for some jackass and Jorge Polanco who can't even stay on the freaking field. When you know that the guy that you had before was consistently on the damn field and putting up numbers. So it's like, Jesus Christ, bro, what are we doing? Then you get Freddie Peralta. Now, that one I can maybe let slide because you weren't expecting that. This was a guy that had a good year the year prior. You weren't expecting that bullshit or that trash ass performance. You weren't expecting it. So maybe that one you can let slide. But then another one that is just so fucking stupid. You trade Brandon Nimmo for a second baseman who is 35 years old because of some stupid contract and some stupid money, who is doing trash. Right now, this gentleman has a 74 OPS plus with a 213 batting average, 14 home runs, 43 RBIs, on base percentage of 273. How are we supposed to be happy? I really want to know. How are we supposed to be happy? So then let's go look at crosstown, the gentleman you traded, Brandon Nimmo. Has 13 home runs, 62, 262 batting average, 49 RBIs, on base percentage of 326, slugging 419, and an OPS of 746, with an OPS plus of 116. The gentleman you traded for has a 74, and the one you traded a 116. You get rid of Jeff McNeil, which it's one of those things of like, okay, he was just gonna take space. That's okay. You got rid of him. Um, Pitching side of things. You go out, you understand that Devin Williams is struggling with the Yankees. He had, similar to what he has now, almost a 5 ERA. You understand that. So you choose to go give him a 3-year, I think it was like $56 million contract, something like that. For the guy to have a 4.66 ERA, a 4.66 ERA, and a negative WAR of 0.6. The year prior to that with the Yankees, he had a 4.79 ERA. David, what the hell were you thinking? You saw him struggle with the Yankees. Why did you think he was going to do any better? This guy obviously can't perform in big markets. He's been with the Brewers his whole life. What were you thinking? What was going on through your head at that time? Straight up. What was going on through your head at that time? Straight up. Offensively, Mark Vientos, OPS plus of 78 with 11 home runs, a batting average of 211, and a negative WAR of 1.1. Beautiful. Um, Juan Soto is injured, but was having himself a good year. Bo Bichette, who you decided to give $42 million a year to, has an OPS plus of 97 with a WAR of 0.9. Mr. Lindor doing a bit better. Carson Bench, shout out to him. He's been doing phenomenal. Luis Robert, he's picked it up a little bit. So, how could I put it? So, this is a team that you construct. This team has all your fingerprints. The years prior to that, it had Billy Epler's, every other people's fingerprints. Now, this is fully your fingerprints. And we have sadly finished dead last. Dead last. We have a payroll of 300 million plus, and we finish dead ass, dead last. You have two of your star players that was rumored didn't get along. On top of all of that, you had a situation with your top star last year. And from a lot of people speaking about you that were in the building, don't have a lot of good things to say about you, except for the owner who went to get you. Not good. You let the first base coach walk to the Atlanta Braves. You let Jeremy walk to the Atlanta Braves. And it's just been an embarrassment. Very disappointed this year. Um, not happy with these performances. Not happy with the trades, the signings we made. Because a lot of it was one of those like scratch head or head scratchers. Like, what are we doing? What are we thinking? Straight up. All right, taking a break from sports real quick, even though we're still sports related. Here's my underdog sports bet picks for today. Like I say every time, please bet responsibly. Don't do no dumb shit and go bankrupt. Bank bet responsibly. Here's my picks for today. All right, so we have Sandy Alcantara. You guys, I have him higher than 3.5 strikeouts. He is facing the Boston Red Sox. I think he'll be able to get at that. We have Ranger Suarez. I have him lower than 6.5 strikeouts going up against the Marlins. He hasn't got over 5 strikeouts at all his last couple starts. Go with that. I got Junior Caminero, who's been hasn't having a great year this year. Go higher than 0.5 total bases. I think he'll get it against Detroit. And then Famio Valdez against the Rays. I think he'll have 3 strikeouts. I think he'll get it. He's had, I think, 3 to 4 strikeouts consistently his last couple starts. Those are my sports bets for today. Please bet responsibly. All right, heading back to some sports, but on a different conversation, you guys. Klay Thompson. It was reported, I think I want to say Friday. He is heading to South Beach. He is going to be joining the likes of Bam and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So essentially, it was 36-year-old Klay Thompson Uh, he was entering this season owed 17.5 million by the Mavericks. When Dallas couldn't find a suitable trade partner, Thompson agreed to significantly discount, basically take a discount to join a title contender team. Um, I think it was now he has a 2-year, $13 million contract with player option after his second year the second year of his deal includes a player option. So why both sides made the move? So essentially for Thompson, uh, this move is entirely about competing for a fifth championship. After struggling to find his role in Dallas, Miami offers him a chance to start fresh on a team built to win immediately. For the Heat, signing him was a typical fit. They needed, a shooter essentially, with the front court being heavy with Bam and Giannis. They desperately needed an elite floor spacing. Despite his age, Thompson still shoots at a 38.3% from beyond the arc last season on high volume. His perimeter gravity will prevent opposing defenses from collapsing the paint, making life much easier for Giannis and Bam when they attack the rim. With the addition, obviously, Klay to the roster that just traded for Giannis, the Heat are suddenly looking at an absolute juggernaut in the East. So the East is definitely going to be competitive this year, with obviously the Sixers having LeBron, the Knicks, of course, and Boston. Um, Obviously the front court, it was going to be very dominant, heavy, in the front with Bam and Giannis. So they needed a shooter, needed somebody who they could throw it out to and shoot. Obviously in his veteran presence, he has a lot of experience. He knows how to win. That's a good one. Um, Listen, I want to say with Miami, I want to rank them. I want to, because right now I still have the Knicks number one. I have the Sixers two, Boston three. 4 or 5 is where I would put the Miami Heat, right now. 4 or 5. It really just depends how everybody gels together. Um, Dallas, obviously, we'll see. You got Kyrie still. You have Cooper. Um, we'll see what happens with you guys. But listen, that was a good signing for Miami. They needed Klay. Shout out to what's his name? Shout out to Ocho Cinco. He kept talking about it on Nightcap. I remember even before LeBron got sighted, he kept saying that, Klay is gonna come to Miami. So shout out to him. That's good. Good prediction there. All right. And to wrap up today's show, you guys. This one is pretty long. This one is probably gonna be an hour plus. Um, let's talk about Mr. Deshaun Watson. As you guys know, football is about to start, the actual season itself. Um, they just named Deshaun as their starting quarterback. Um, but let me break down the situation, you guys. So, let me get comfortable for this one because this one's not drama. This one's just some shenanigans. So, um, I don't know what day it was, but so this is between Deshaun Watson and the fans, you guys. I think it was, here's the breakdown. So from what I'm reading here, the moment Watson jogged onto the field in the third quarter to relieve rookie quarterback Sanders, the sections of the home crowd immediately started booing him. The reception continued throughout his time on the field, which was only made worse by his struggles against Buffalo's backup defenders. Watson finished the night completing just 5 out of 12 passes for 35 yards and an interception. So, I'm gonna pull up the essentially the press conference. We're gonna react to that real quick and see what his thoughts were on the booing in the third quarter. By the way,
yeah, it just didn't go our way. Didn't get completion.
let me see. Actually, hold on.
What do you see on the?
Let me see if I get this one. I don't like that one.
I mean, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles, and that same fan base they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. But you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but you know, it is what it is. Um, you know, sometimes the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to wait for that time to change. So
Let me rewatch this again. Hold on.
I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's
All right. So interesting take. Deshaun Watson says it's a little bit it has nothing to do with performance. It's a little bit more personal than that. So let's see what Todd Munkin, the head coach, says about that situation of Deshaun's comments.
Hey, how's it feel to get booed? I mean, it's a pretty easy question. It sucks. I don't want to get booed. It comes with the territory. You don't want to get booed? Let's play good football. Let's play good at quarterback. Let's play good on offense. Let's play good as a team. And then you don't have to worry about all that.
That's
Because
right.
it can turn just like that. Win, play good football, and everybody will be fine. That's just part of it. I mean, so I told him, you good? We're good. Part of what we do.
What do you see on the
All right. And then last one, Mr. Shador Sanders. Let's see what Shador got to say about that.
how did you do that with Deshaun today, or did you do that?
Yeah, I mean, well, in general, I don't appreciate that at all. Just regardless of competition, we all human beings. And I think we all need to understand that, in this room too. We all humans. So it's like, I don't really do things to humans I wouldn't really want done to me, and I don't really like making people feel uncomfortable in different spaces, and that's why even sometimes like daily things I do, like I try to make sure everybody comfortable, because a lot of things, just even how I am as a person, sometimes can make people uncomfortable, So, I mean, I'm obviously aware of that, and just for all the fans and everything, like we appreciate y'all and showing up and everything, and however y'all feel about the situation, about Deshaun and about everything, like still, I think it's more about a bigger purpose to just respect, it's just a respect thing that I feel like should be there, because we all out there trying to do our best and trying to serve the franchise the best way possible. We going out there to win games. We doing everything we can do. So.
All right. So let me let me say let me just say this. So my thing is this. I want to say this because that's why I went back with the that's why I went back and replayed his comment on, Deshaun Watson's comment on the fans booing him that day. He says that it has nothing to do with performance. It's a little bit more personal than that. It's a disrespectful thing. Deshaun. Okay. So my thing is, this is where I have an issue. The true fans of the damn team don't give a shit about what happens to the person outside of the field. They care about what they do between those lines on that 100-yard field. That's the thing. So when you say that, what you're doing is you're angering more those Cleveland fans. Those fans that pay 50 to 100 to hundreds and thousands of dollars to go and watch their team play every single Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday sometime. And when they see all they care about is performances. They don't give a shit what the running back, what the quarterback, what the receivers, what the tight end, what the cornerbacks do, what the safeties do outside of the field. True fans don't give a shit about that. They give a shit about what the player does between those two lines. And what's happened? Your performances have been dog shit. Let's keep it real. Just say I've been doing dog shit. So what you don't want to do is get on the fans' bad side, because at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that pay your salary. The fans that are the ones going and spending thousands on seats. $15 to $20 on food and snacks and drinks and beers and all this you can think of, to go and watch you play and just do a dog shit ass performance. It's not about personal, because it's not. A true fan doesn't give a shit what the player has going on outside of the world. They don't. Why? Because it's not none of their business. It's none of their business. That's why it's called personal, because it's just about you and the people that you choose to open that door to, not to the fans. So the true fans only give a shit about performance, because all they care about is winning, making it to the playoffs, winning Super Bowls, winning championships consistently. You think the fans give a shit that Patrick Mahomes and his girl, let's say an example, have a situation outside of the field? No. They just care about his performances on the field, which he has been doing. Nobody was cheering when he tore his ACL. Why? Because he was performing. People were cheering because the money that the Browns are paying you, they have to make you the quarterback, because you can't have a freaking guy on the bench that you're paying $40 million to, just as an example. So because they found a reason of they have to forcibly get you off the field, that's why they started chanting, which obviously, okay, that is wrong, and it's not acceptable. But that's the reason why, because it relates back to your performance. You've been doing trash. His 19 starts, because he's only played 19 games since he's arrived in 2022. So in 4 years, he's only played 19 games with the Browns. He has a 9-10 win-loss record, has 3,365 passing yards, a 61% completion, 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 70 sacks taken, and a pass rating of 80.7. Literally, so in his final season in 2020, in Houston, he threw at 4,823 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 16 games. And in Cleveland, it's taken him almost in 4 years, it's taken him in 19 games to reach the 19. In 4 years, he's only had 19, when in Houston in 2020, he had 33. So especially when you read a stat like that, what do you think the fans are how do you expect them to feel? How are they supposed to react when this is the performance that you've given them the last 4 years? Yes, you've been injured. Yes, you've been suspended because of stupid shit, but it all falls back on you. There's a reason why they're paying you the big bucks, to perform, to be consistent, and that's what you haven't done. Fans are booing you because you haven't been good. So they feel like you're wasting their money and you're wasting their time to be on that field, throwing that football. It's as simple as that. You can't get on the fans' bad side. People pay a lot of money, and a lot of people now don't. It's very different nowadays. Teams charge a foot and a leg, an arm and a leg, just to go sit down and watch a football game or a basketball game, or even wrestling, for crying out loud. They charge you a freaking head and a heart to freaking go sit in the gutters, for crying out loud. So it's like, you always want to be on the fans' good side. What he should have done was just say, hey, I'm just gonna let my actions speak better, and etc., and go on with your day, and that's it. But you can't say that, oh, they're booing you because of personal. No, they don't give a shit about that. They're booing you because your performances has been horseshit. Literally horseshit. But I'm gonna wrap it up there, you guys. Thank you guys all for watching. It was a pretty long show, but we're back, and now we're definitely consistent. Thank you guys all for watching. Like I say every single time, stay humble, stay blessed, and stay positive, you guys. You only live once, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.